Welcome to our webinar, How to Become an Industry Leader with Hawkridge Systems Training. My name is Rachel Jones and I'll be with you guys this morning. My role here at Hawkridge Systems is the Training Product Manager, which means my role is about making sure our training is worth selling. So I work really closely with both the engineering side and the sales side of things to provide you with a robust training product that you want to attend. I've been in the classroom for a number of years, been in the VAR channel for, this will be my 10th year. So I've had a lot of interactions with customers on many levels, been in the classroom a lot. So it's really exciting to be able to be in this role and provide training to you guys in a really meaningful way. All right, so it's no secret that this has been quite the year, right? We're all keenly aware that these last 12 months have brought a number of unexpected hurdles. Many of these hurdles even seemed like roadblocks, but it did bring an opportunity for us to make some formative changes. Our online training, our virtual instructor-led training, as we like to call it, was already growing, but the pandemic drove that growth exponentially. We had to move all of our classes, all of our students, you guys, and all of our instructors to an online environment. So we rebuilt and beefed up our calendar so we didn't delay any of your training. And simultaneously, we were busy investing in our online training by building a platform that provided a better learning experience for you guys, our customers. And most recently, we formed a strategic partnership with SolidProfessor. We'll talk more about that a little bit later. But what we found out is that no matter what kind of learner you are, when you put different learning methods together, you're going to kind of hit on all of those. And actually, even though we might be strong in one area, we do have learning abilities in all three of those spaces. And some people like to say writing is its own learning space, reading is its own learning space, but they kind of all fall into those three buckets, the seeing, the hearing, and then the practicing. And with our learning, using instructor-led learning and self-paced learning, it's going to lead to that tremendous sticky learning, getting a chance to use your hearing, your seeing, and your practicing in both of those places. So let's go ahead and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what we've built, our virtual training platform. It's an exciting new space that we've created. I'm going to access this from our website. So I'm just on our website here, hawkridgesys.com, to our virtual training platform. All right. So I'm already logged in here, and this space here provides a simple single sign-on to access your instructor-led learning tools. Going into a 100% learning environment like we needed to do about a year ago, we knew that streamlining your learning experience had to be top priority. Instead of multiple access points for the classroom and for tools and varied emails coming your way, our goal, as one of my coworkers likes to say, was to make it so easy that the hardest thing you had to do was to show up. So let's take a look at what this platform offers us. So I'm going to work a little bit backwards this morning by showing you around inside the platform first, and then later I'll show you how we connect, how you can kind of connect to those resources for yourself. Right away, you can see I've got a couple of classes coming up here. I've got one that's actually happening right now this week, and one that's happening in next month. Let's take a look at this Essentials class that's happening right now for me. So inside here, I have access to the classroom, the virtual classroom. I also have access to launch the virtual desktop. I have an introduction of sorts to my instructor, Jordan, before I even jump into class, and I have a list of resources to download as needed before class. If you are using our virtual desktop, so you maybe don't have access to your own file sets, or your own software, we'll talk about that a little bit more in a minute. You don't necessarily need to download the course files. If you're using your own file or your own software, of course, we'll want you to download these class files before class. We've got a little video, real simple, nice video here, kind of walking you through all of those steps. And the course files are conveniently located for you right inside the class. I would say for everybody, though, we certainly want to take a look at this Essentials Quick Reference Card. And I already popped it up over here, so I'm just going to show that to you real quick. So anybody attending our Essentials class, you'll get access to this. It's got just a nice preview of tools that are used commonly throughout the class and just tools used in general. And then also a nice little view of the interface, some keyboard shortcuts, and of course our contact information. So, of course, when you're in class or once you've hit in here, you're going to want to join that classroom. And it's really as easy as copying the password here so that we do have a password protected to join the class, and then clicking on the Join Virtual Classroom. This class is already in session, so I don't want to disturb them, but I did grab a quick screenshot beforehand. So let's take a look at that. If you're not familiar with the interface, it's actually very similar to what we're looking at here with GoToWebinar. This is the GoToMeeting session. Inside here, when you join, you will be asked to choose your audio and video settings. You can choose to use your camera if you'd like. You are muted by default, but you can certainly unmute yourself to access asking the instructor questions or to interact with your fellow students. You'll be able also to zoom in and out of the shared screen. You can see this is the instructor screen. And then if you're not comfortable asking questions out loud, you can always choose to use that chat. That's always going to be open to you to ask questions to your instructor or interact with the rest of the classroom. Next, we want to take a look at being able to launch the virtual desktop. Okay, this is what this really is. If you're not familiar, is it gives you access to the latest release of the software along with the file sets that you're going to need for class. If you have the newest or you have a recent release of the software, you don't necessarily need to use this. You can certainly use even like the past few releases during during the class instead of launching the virtual desktop. But it is available to you. It's a pretty amazing feature. It's not something that is available kind of just everywhere. It's something that we've been able to offer to our customers through training, especially through this virtual training platform. And it's really easy to get access to it. It's easy to get it launched. And so I'm going to show you kind of how to get you started inside there once you were in a class and you needed to be able to use it. So you can click on Launch Virtual Desktop. It's going to ask you just a few questions. So we'll walk through that survey a little bit. And again, there's no charge for using these licenses during class. Right? This is a really amazing feature that we've been able to give our students that are joining us. So first, it's just going to verify that do you need access to the software? Because if you have access to the software already, you probably don't necessarily want to use this. So no, I don't have access to the required software. Then it's going to ask you about your internet connection. Do you have a fast enough internet connection? If you have a really slow internet connection, your experience won't be great. So you do want to have a nice high-speed internet connection. So you can click on yes, I have a high speed. If you're not sure, we do offer a link here for a speed test, so you can find out if you meet that 10 megabits or higher threshold. And we also want to double check, are you directly connected to the internet or are you using a VPN or a remote desktop? We have found that if you're using the VPN or even a remote desktop, oftentimes it will even just negate the ability to use this virtual desktop at all. So I'm going to say, yes, I am directly connected. You can go ahead and click next here. And then right here, we're able to launch the virtual desktop. And then we'll get access to the software, the files, like I said. Your instructor will kind of walk you through those extra steps once class has started. And you'll be able to roll right along with everybody else during the classroom. As you may have guessed, we are going to highly recommend that you have dual monitors when you attend classes with us. And the reason we say that is because we want you to work along with the instructor. You're going to be listening to the instructor, you're going to be watching what they're doing, and then you want to follow along as well. So we're going to be using all three of those learning methods in one. So you want one monitor to follow along with on your own with either the virtual desktop or your own software, your own release of SolidWorks, or the second monitor to be able to watch the instructor in their instruction. Okay, a headset not necessarily doesn't have to be exactly like mine, but something similar to what I've got going on here is also going to be helpful, so that you can just have an easier way of listening and kind of blocking out other stuff going on, being able to listen to the instructor, and also be able to communicate with the instructor and the class and your classmates. We want these classes to be as interactive as possible. Engage with your instructor, they're going to be engaging with you. All right, let's take a look at a little bit rest of the things that you're going to find inside of our virtual training platform. So this is the current class that I'm in. Again, I can join the classroom. I can grab that desktop if I need that. Again, it's an amazing resource available to our students when it's necessary for them. information about my instructor, some of those course files. I also can see the start and end time of my class. Now, our classes run 8:30 to 1 in our online environment Pacific time. I'm located in Central Time. So it actually has switched to my local time zone, which makes it a lot easier for me to kind of just keep track of time of when I need to show up and what kind of how I can plan the rest of my day. Also down here in a number of our classes, we're going to list some additional resources for you. We've got, like I said, we've got that video to help you understand how to get those files downloaded and set up in place. But we also have some YouTube videos that we've found incredibly helpful for our students attending the Essentials class. So things like just sketching information, understanding reference geometry, and then feature dependencies, for example. If I go back to home, you can see I also have that class, an advanced part modeling class I had mentioned earlier that's coming up in a few weeks. I just still click on this, see what else I got going on here. The virtual classroom and desktop are not available for me to launch because the class is not in session, but I can learn a little bit about my instructor. I can get myself reminded of the start and end time of this particular class. And then I can also see those file sets that I might want to download before class starts. Or I'm sorry, I definitely want to download them before class starts, but I could certainly download them today if I wanted to. If I click on the courses button, it's going to give me a view of not only the classes that I have coming up, classes I'm in now, but also previous classes that maybe I've attended. So I can choose to view that. This particular class doesn't have any files that I needed to download, but I can see instructor information if I just wanted to remind myself, oh, who was that that had that class or that I was in that class with. All right. We also want to provide some space for you guys to be able to help yourselves and learn a little bit more on your own outside of training, perhaps. So there's a quick video here that's available. It kind of just gives a tour of the space where you can download files, basically all the things that I've shown you already today. But I still recommend watching it. It's a pretty quick and fun video. All right, we also have some FAQs. You can certainly search through these. Just a few things about getting ready for class, like about having that good internet connection, what sort of browser you might want to use, getting your headset and audio situation set up for you. Also, a couple of quick questions about the virtual classroom. What do you need to make sure that you have in place there, and the virtual desktop. Now, I'm logged in, so my view is a little bit different, but if I were to log out, when you go to our website, and you were to access virtual training platform, if you're not logged in or don't have an account set up yet, this is the screen that you're going to see. But even if you don't have an account just yet, you can still get to this help. So you can click on the need more help, and it's that same video and FAQ set I was just showing you. So everybody has access to that. And if you have any questions, absolutely reach out to us with that training at hawkridgesys.com. And I'll log back in here. All right, also kind of fun, not necessary, but certainly kind of fun. You have a profile here. You can set up your name, which is we default to what you've provided for us, but you can also set up an icon if you'd like, or an avatar there, and a profile picture. Okay, some other resources available to you that I want to point out that I think are incredibly helpful is we have direct access to our course catalog. We'll take a look at that together in just a moment. We'll look at the knowledge base. So here we have a set of articles that we have created, our experts have created for you. This is not specific to training. This is really specific to the products that you guys are using. So it could be any of the classes, and maybe some sort of release information that is important that we think that you guys should take a look at. Also, we have access to our support portal, so you guys can get access to any cases that maybe you've been working on with our support team for any of our subscription customers. So just a nice way of getting to that quickly. We also have our YouTube and blog links to both of those. I highly recommend taking a look at those. If you've never looked at our YouTube videos or our blog, go now. Well, not now, but later today. Go take a look. And if you haven't subscribed to those, I highly recommend subscribing to those as well. Those are really robust places to get information, to get deep information. We have an incredible group of subject matter experts that provide content for both those YouTube videos and the blog on just about anything you can possibly imagine relating to the SolidWorks and design to manufacturing tools. Let's take a look at the course catalog together. because perhaps I want to sign up for another class. Now, I showed you I was in the Essentials class. I've got the Advanced Part class coming up. Maybe I've got a pass in place. I purchased one of those ahead of time so I have access to a number of classes. And one of the next classes I want to take is surface modeling. So on our course catalog, and again, I just directly got to that from the VTP. We make it nice and easy for you guys to find stuff. We have a whole list of classes. You can see we've got quite a few here. We've got sim related stuff, cam related stuff, electrical, PDM, and of course our core CAD and even some digital manufacturing items. I'm going to filter to just looking at CAD products, CAD pages, classes, and here I have that surface modeling course. When I select that surface modeling course, give that a moment here, I can read a little bit more about the class. I can see it's going to be online in 4 sessions. Can learn a little bit more about what the topics are to be covered. And then I also see the prerequisites. So it is SolidWorks Essentials, which I'm covered because I'm taking that class right now. And then that Advanced Part Modeling class, which I've got coming up in a few weeks. So if I scroll down a little bit further, I can see upcoming classes that are available to me. There is one in April, but that's not going to work so hot because I'm going to be in training, so I can't pick that one. So I'm going to switch to May. And here I have a couple options available to me. I think I'm going to pick the late May one. That seems to work a little bit better for my calendar. I'll select that particular class. Can read a little bit more about it. You'll see it is going to mention the 8:30 to 1 Pacific time. Just do a little bit of math in your head. And again, the virtual training platform will translate that for you to your time zone. If I want to go ahead and get myself registered for that class, you can go ahead and get added. If something doesn't quite look right, or maybe you're thinking something's missing, or you'd like to see some other options available to you, always reach out to training at hawkridgesys.com. We are always adding stuff to our calendar, and we want to hear from you guys if something on our calendar doesn't quite fit. So let's go ahead and click get added to get into this class. I'm going to enter in my contact information, paying close attention, especially right now, to that shipping information. Sometimes I'm in the office, sometimes at home. Where's going to be the best place for me to receive a book? I'm probably going to put my home address in this situation because more than likely I'll choose to stay home that particular week of training. So again, pay attention to that shipping address. I know Google or different browsers like to auto-populate for me, so just pay attention to that. In this case, like I said, I already have a pass, so I'm going to choose that I have a pass. But if I really still want to get into this class and I haven't previously purchased it, you can still register for the class, and one of our sales reps will reach out to you, or your account manager will reach out to you and get that set up for you. You can also buy the class from our web store if you'd like, and then get registered for that class afterwards. All right, so I mentioned previously that we partnered with SolidProfessor. We formed this strategic partnership with them as an industry leader to design and manufacturing in self-paced on-demand learning. So why would we partner with another training-based company? Wouldn't that be competition? Well, we believe that self-paced training and instructor-led training really are, when they're put together at their best, are going to be the best for you. A blend of these technologies is again going to really hone in on those learning methodologies, the auditory, the kinesthetic, and the visual. We have these videos, the self-paced learning, are built by subject matter experts along with instructional designers, really to give you the best possible experience for that learning. Inside of SolidProfessor, which we can access right here from our page, if I go to training and then down to SolidProfessor, I can learn a little bit more about SolidProfessor, perhaps even watch a short video, understand that there's thousands of videos available to me, multiple learning paths, different check-ins, even SolidProfessor type certificates that I can achieve by going through the videos and passing an exam, or I should say more like a certification quiz. I can also grab right here this Visit SolidProfessor and go straight to the SolidProfessor page. So again, everything is just nice and conveniently accessed through our website. Out here on the SolidProfessor page, you'll see there's a little banner here. We've got another event coming up in about a month, a little less than a month, a skill summit If you haven't registered for that, I highly recommend that. If you got questions about it, go ahead and reach out to us and we'll be happy to point you in the right direction. But we'd like to see you there. I'll be presenting on certifications, and we'll talk more about that in a little bit too. So here I'm already logged in this case, and I'm just going to go to my dashboard, and I'll see some of the learning that I've got going on inside of SolidProfessor. Okay, so I can pick up where I've left off on videos that I've already, or lesson paths, learning paths I've already started. So this middle one here, I'm not signed up for the assembly modeling class just yet. It's not an area I'm super familiar with, and I'd like to get myself a little bit of a base before I attend class. Or in this other case, GD&T, I've got a project coming up where I know I'm going to need to use that, and I haven't touched it a whole lot since school. So I'm going to need a refresher on that, kind of brush up on some of those GD&T skills, and this video set is going to be fantastic for that. I also have access to some learning about just part design, but also some update training. So every year, of course, SolidWorks updates. There's all sorts of enhancements that are made, and SolidProfessor does a fantastic job of collecting those and getting videos set up for you to learn and understand what was new in this most recent release. And you can certainly go back to previous releases and learn that as well. Another thing that they have available inside of SolidProfessor, which I think is kind of fun and fantastic, is these modeling Mayhem type sets, and you can filter them to different certification levels, kind of skill levels. So CSWA is kind of at the base level, the Certified SolidWorks Associate, CSWP, the professional, and then CSWE, the expert. And these are also great ways of preparing for those exams. Let's say if you want to obtain those certifications. So partnering with your training, that's going to get you really prepared, that instructor-led training, going through these video sets, and then in this case, the modeling Mayhem type stuff, where you get to practice some things that are a little bit different than maybe what you've done already in class. So I'll just take a quick look at one. There's kind of a cool COVID-19 one here, a nice face mask or face shield, I should say. So there's some information here that you may want to grab while you're getting ready to work on this. It's going to give you a couple of drawings, and you can check your skills by entering in the mass of the part and see if you did it right. So still, you have an ability to try something new, design something maybe a little bit different than you normally would design, honing in those skills, and then checking in on your work. I think it's a cool way to add to your instructor-led learning. Our website here. We know that live training can sometimes be overwhelming, right? You're in class with other people, you've got a lot coming at you from that instructor. Our instructors are amazing, and we're going to engage with you, and we're going to do our best to make sure that you're having an amazing experience. But SolidProfessor is also going to allow you to kind of sit back, relax, and learn at your own pace. So you can take a complicated concept that maybe you learned about in classroom with your instructor and take a look at it at a slower pace. It's also going to allow you as a student to see something that maybe was explained, or something complex explained in a different manner that makes that light bulb go on in a different way. When you're engaging with multi-product learning, like many of us are, where you've got to learn CAD and simulation, maybe you have CAD and CAM, or you've also got to learn PDM, that's a lot of knowledge to keep track of. Perhaps you've gone through those classes, you need a little brush up or refresher. SolidProfessor is a fantastic way to be able to do that. Another fantastic way, I think would be, I would highly recommend doing this when you have access to SolidProfessor and the instructor learning, is to sandwich your learning. Take some time to watch a few quick videos on that particular topic before you get into classroom with your instructor. That's going to set a nice base for you. And then during class, you're going to have the opportunity to ask more robust questions, more meaningful questions, and give you a chance to focus on interacting with the software and your instructor in a whole new way. You're going to learn that product by accessing that expert time with the instructor, having access to the instructor, and even your classmates. It's always fun to kind of learn how they're using the tool as well. And then later on, you can choose to refresh with SolidProfessor again. Again, kind of that sandwiching that learning, getting yourself ready to rock in the classroom, asking those good questions, interacting really, really well with the software, and then back to refreshing, kind of topping it off. New hire onboarding is also a fantastic way to utilize both of these tools. Getting a prescribed learning path in place from SolidProfessor, and then combining with that instructor-led learning. And then in the off time, going back to that self-paced learning. We have a few of our customers that are already doing this, and they're seeing fantastic results getting their new hires or even their teams up to speed using the tools way faster than they would have done otherwise. So we know SolidWorks has been around for a long time. It's a very mature product, right? The market is flooded with all sorts of information and learning tools are out there. Go to YouTube, you're going to be overwhelmed with the stuff that you're going to find. Your best way to make sure that you're not being influenced by false teachers, people that are just kind of hobbyists of putting information out there that likely isn't correct. They're not certified instructors like our instructors are. They're not subject matter experts like we are and SolidProfessor are as we're putting out these videos and learning opportunities for you. Your best chance is to stay focused on what we've got available to you, again, in the classroom, with our instructors, those experts, so certified as SolidWorks instructors, simulation instructors, PDM, etc. And then again, those learning opportunities inside of SolidProfessor. So how do you put those two things together? Well, we have a couple of subscription opportunities for our customers. And let's take a look at those. Again, just from our website. So from SolidWorks, I'm going to go down to subscription. We've got a pretty fantastic video here, not super long, so when you get a chance, I highly recommend taking a look at that after this session. I think you'll find it to be, it's a really nice little video kind of summarizing these two subscription models that we have now for our customers since we've partnered with SolidProfessor. I'm going to scroll down a little bit further so you can see the comparison that we've got here. So again, we've got two subscription models we have available to our customers, Essential and Elite. What's awesome is because we have partnered with SolidProfessor, both of them now include access to the SolidProfessor tool. That's pretty amazing. Next, both of them also give you access to a 3D printing service voucher. That's super cool. Watch your models come to life, right? Next, the Elite package adds a couple of things. I'm going to highlight two of them here. One is Ask an Expert. So we give you access to one of our application engineers, one of our engineers, for a 2-hour Ask an Expert session. And if you want to learn more details about all of that, this of course is on our website. And the last one, of course, my favorite, is the live instructor-led training. We're going to give you, with that Elite subscription, a $500 voucher to use towards any of our live instructor-led training you can find on our website. That's pretty cool. All right. Last, I just want to talk to you guys about just keeping an eye on this learning space that SolidWorks has for you, that Hawk Ridge has for you with inside of the design and manufacturing SolidWorks learning space. We have made significant changes in this last year. We turned lemons into lemonade, and you don't want to miss what we've got going on next because we're on a roll. As an industry leader in design and manufacturing tools, we're investing substantially with our time and our energy into your future. Okay, well, thank you so much for your time. Again, if you have questions, reach out. The recording of this will be available afterwards later on, and we look forward to hearing from you. We look forward to seeing you, and of course, we wish you all sorts of happy learning in the future. All right, bye.